Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm your host, Iranian Marks, with a look at today's top stories. Well, did they or didn't they? Did Israel reportedly strike Iranian targets in Iran? It is alleged that Israeli jets were spotted striking targets for the second time in 10 days in Iraq. And this is the first time since 1981's bombing of the Osirak nuclear reactor that Israeli jets have reportedly been seen in Iraqi airspace. And while the IDF are remaining mum on whether or not this actually happened, it would broaden Israel's scope of attack on Iranian targets in the region. Also, we've been speaking a lot about the alleged rape that took place in Cyprus, or the rape that was alleged to have taken place in Cyprus, where a 19-year-old British tourist alleged that 12 Israeli teenagers had reportedly gang raped her. Yesterday, we discussed the fact that she apparently lied in her testimony and said that she made it up because she felt humiliated. Well, the Cypriot judge has remanded her in custody for a further 8 days, and he said to her during her hearing that because of her lie, 12 young teenage boys were arrested for something that they did not commit. And she will be charged with public disorder, and this carries a charge, or at least a sentence of a year, as well as a fine. And in a big scandal that is rocking the United Nations, in a dossier that has been leaked via Al Jazeera, it has been discovered that the head of UNRWA, which is the special agency for Palestinian refugees, Philippe Krahunbul, has been investigated, or is being investigated rather, for crimes at the highest level, or abuse of the highest level of authority. So amongst the crimes he is alleged to have committed include sexual misconduct, discrimination, nepotism, retaliation, which I'm very curious to hear a little bit more about what that is, and amongst that other charges. Now, we will remember that the United States have suspended or cut their funding of UNRWA, citing that they are playing their part in perpetuating conflict between Israel and her Palestinian neighbors. And it was announced today that Switzerland have suspended their funding of the UN agency, and the UN are conducting a full investigation into Philippe Krahunbul's alleged misconduct. So very, very scandalous at the United Nations. But if you want better news stories, you can check out Dave Kaplan's article called Good Vibrations on our website at www.layoftheland.online, and you can learn about how vibrations are being used to give commands to man's best friend and woman's best friend, I think, dogs, especially rescue dogs. And you can also read it online on our Facebook page. And while you're there, like us and follow us. And if you're not viewing your Israel Brief live on Facebook, then simply go onto YouTube, Google Israel Brief, and click on the subscribe button to receive your daily edition of the Israel Brief. I'm Iranian Marks, and we'll speak again tomorrow.